episode 70 of the U.S.S. Enterprise D tutorial. I'm Zero Elite, and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. And if you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me in supporting the channel. Cannot thank you enough for that. And today, we're going to be, again, picking up where we left off, working on our aquarium / mall. But before we get started, I want to make a point today to officially launch my Discord channel. So you can see I have my link up on the channel here, and I'm also going to make this a point once this episode loads in the description section right underneath the video. I will have this link as well, so you can click on this link and I'll invite you to the channel. Just when you join in, please just be respectful and keep it PG. Anybody that does not do this, trolls, posts, nudity, spam, or any type of vulgar information, you will immediately be banned, no questions asked. But hopefully we'll get a lot of cool people in here from the community that have already been on the channel, and I'll have that for you as well. So we're going to just be hopping right into today's episode. We've got about a 20-minute episode. We'll be skipping the first 4 minutes, which was something that we already went over from yesterday's episode. And we're back in the directly above our aquarium, and we're going to be working on our ceiling section here. So on the first cut line, where the gray meets the white concrete, we're going to be filling this in with sea lanterns. And the sea lanterns, you're not going to see these once everything is all said and done. My main reason for doing this now is that this is going to be one of our light sources in this section of the ship. So once we have all this done, we'll be able to delete our temporary sea lanterns that we've already put up around here if we do it right. So again, we're just going right off the cut line from the gray, or the light gray where that meets the white concrete. And then once we're done with that, we're going to be filling in directly underneath the sea lantern. We'll be put on a half slab underneath that to cover that up, so you won't even be able to see it, but the light source will still be there. See, I had a slight mistake there. I didn't have one of the gray blocks. It wasn't cut like it should be, and even right there. So this is what I'm talking about. You start sticking with your patterns, you can start to identify mistakes pretty quickly, and it'll make your build come along a little bit better too. And then we're also going to be doing some work here to our corridors. That light gray concrete line here, we're going to be moving that up. I talked about this when we built this out, but today we're going to be doing it. And basically, we're just going to be moving it up a row. And the reason we're doing this is so that when we actually come into our corridor, or our bridge corridor that goes from the forward, left, and right side sections of the ship and brings it towards the middle, when we walk through this room, it's a shame if we can't see the aquarium and all this detailing that we're going to be doing. So that's the main reason why we're doing this. So this way, when you walk into the room, it's going to have that wow factor, and you'll be able to see all of this detailing. And it'll just look really cool. You know, I think it was a good point to try it the other way that we had it, because it was sticking within the same template that we had for the corridors, for all the other corridors and other sections of the ship. That's why I decided to have this gray strip in the middle. But it's just one of those things. Sometimes you plan it out one way and it just doesn't work, and you have to go back and make changes to it, because like in this case, it was hindering our viewing experience. We wouldn't be able to see all this extra detailing. So that's really the main reason why we're moving it up. It's form meets function. And this is going to be the one area of the ship that we can get away with it, because this is technically a bridge to get from the different sections of the ship towards the mall and the captain's yacht, the bridge, and the Aquarium, and then also the primary shuttle bay. So we're going to be working on this just a little bit here, literally just repeating the same process, but making this change to all of the bridges so this way they all match. But no, talking about, I'm very excited to launch my Discord channel today, and I've had it up for a little while. I've just been waiting to invite people because I wanted to make sure that everything that I had available on the channel is exactly what I wanted. So I'm looking forward to getting people into the channel as well. And you know, bear in mind that, you know, the channel is still brand new, so if there's things that you want to see me add to the channel, let me know on Discord or let me know in the comment section on YouTube. But you're definitely going to hear me talking a lot more about Discord now going forward, because I plan on trying to make it a resource for me, to make it a little bit easier to keep in touch with the community that I'm trying to build on Minecraft. And I think it'll be really cool, because I use Discord all the time. I have Discord for my ARC servers that I run with my girlfriend, that she runs with me, and it really is. It's truly a resource for my servers, and that's going to be something you could even expect to see me bring back in the future. I've talked a little bit about it, but, well, not so much in a while, but I think at some point in the near future you can probably expect to see me start doing ARC videos here in the foreseeable future, where I'll start actually doing builds. I had one or two in the past. I think I only have even one up left on my channel right now from a boat build, like a janky pirate ship that I did years ago. It really doesn't reflect some of the stuff that I can do on ARC now, but still, regardless, ARC is one of the original pillars for my YouTube channel. I originally started putting content up for those two games specifically, between Minecraft and ARC. And of course, those of you on Starship Evo, I have not forgotten about you. I'm taking a short hiatus from Starship Evo because I'm waiting to see what else they're going to do with the game. I know that right now, I think that they just added a mechanic on there for fuel. So I think they're getting ready to make it to where you, hopefully that you can go on other planets and resource materials. I think it's a step in the right direction, but there's a lot of things that they really need to add to that game to get me to come back into it. But it's one of those games that I truly do believe in Starship Evo, which is why I keep talking about it. But it's kind of one of those things where now that I've built some ships on there, I kind of feel like I've done what I can do within the game, within the current mechanics that they have. Well, no, that's not true. There's a lot of stuff that I could do, but put it this way. There's a lot of stuff that I would like to do that I can't do on there, but I think that they're going to do it, hopefully. And I think if they make it to where you can explore other planets and they have more NPCs within the world, and a few more customization options within your build, I think that'll be a step in the right direction to really get me invested back into that game. So hopefully that'll be something that I'll be able to do in the near future. But of course, you're never going to see me not doing Minecraft videos, because that is my main thing on my channel. But definitely look for my ARC videos that will be coming back in the near future. And there's going to be a lot of cool things I'm going to be doing with that, a lot of different builds, and I might start showing some stuff on our server and things like that that we have. So that'll be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. And even with Minecraft, there's a lot of cool things that we have coming with the channel. As we reach 1,000 subscribers, once we hit 1,000, I'm going to be doing a tutorial on the 2016 U.S.S. Enterprise A, which a ton of people have been asking for in the past. And then, of course, once we're done with the Enterprise D, we're more than likely going to be working on Voyager. I've been saying that it may not be my next build, but I've had so many people ask me for Voyager. I don't want to upset anybody at this point, so it's one of those things where, like, it would kind of be a cop-out if I didn't do Voyager at this point, because I've had so many people ask me for it, and I'm not going to lie, I actually really want to build Voyager. So I think at this point it's pretty safe to say that Voyager will be the next ship that I do after the Enterprise D. But The only thing I can say is have a little bit of patience with that, because Enterprise D is going to be something that we're going to be working on for a while, and I'm not trying to rush it. I want to do this ship right, and I really want to flesh out as much of it as I possibly can. And the scale of this ship, unfortunately, it's just going to take time to do it. So everybody that's on my channel that have been supporting me on the YouTube channel and tune in for my videos and drop comments, thank all of you, and I really appreciate it. But I'm also going to be having more mock builds coming up on the channel as well for Minecraft. I'll be doing one on Voyager and some other ships that I haven't necessarily decided yet. I think I'm probably going to put a poll up on my Discord channel on what mock builds you want to see me do. That's going to be something that's going to be pretty cool going forward now. Now bear in mind, Voyager is set in stone. That's not going to be changing. But after that, once we get to a point that we're done with the Enterprise D and we're nearing towards the end of the build on Voyager, you're going to see me start doing polls on my Discord channel on what ships you want to see me build in Minecraft next. And it'll be the same thing when I do my ARC builds, on what builds you want to see me do in Starship Evo as well. So be sure to join my Discord, because going forward, when I'm taking suggestions, I'm going to be using my Discord. Now, people can definitely let me know what they want to see on my YouTube channel, but the main reason why I'm going to do it on Discord is that it's going to be a little bit easier for me to keep track of what people want to see. So that's really the main reason for that. But I want to talk a little bit about here what I just did, and there's a pretty clear example on why I moved this middle line here. Because now when we go in our corridor bridge, we can see right into the aquarium, and we'll be able to see right into the mall area. And when this is all done, it doesn't really look like that much now, but I'm telling you, when this area is done, it's going to look actually very, very pretty. And it's going to help tie in together this section of the ship. And you'll begin to, once we get a little bit further along in this section of the ship anyway, you'll be able to understand why I opened up the bridges the way that I did, so that you can see, because this was something that was built by design. I fully 110% intended to do everything that we have going on within the mall/aquarium area of the ship. That's why sometimes I say, if you're not sure what you want to do, take a step away from it and plan out what you're going to do, because I guarantee you that if you have a plan on what you want to do with your ship, you're more likely to, the results are going to be like night and day. They really are. It's when you don't have a plan, that's when you start to have problems on your interiors. Sometimes you can wing certain things. I'll be the first one to say that you can, but in my experience in building in Minecraft, when you have at least a loose idea of what you want to do or some type of plan, it tends to work out a little bit better in your favor. And that's one of the reasons on why I build the ships in the manner in which I build them, because I've learned this over a period of time on building in Minecraft, that it's just better to have a plan in place, because everything ties together a little bit better when you have that set cohesiveness. That's why we build out our corridors first, and then our turbo lifts, and this way everything just kind of comes together harmoniously, rather than just having a bunch of random sections on the ship. There's just no way to get around that. I've tried my darndest to exploit every single loophole that I can within Minecraft to build in the shortest and fastest way possible. And all these steps that I show you guys on a daily basis on my channel is really the bread and butter on what I use. So if you're learning or looking to learn some of the things that I do, stick around with me on the channel. You'd be surprised on what you might learn on here, because I'm not one of those people that I try to, conceal what I do. I feel that I want to share what I know on Minecraft and just building in general, whether any of the games that I play, because I know what it's like to be on the other side, which is one of the other reasons too why I started this channel. There's nobody doing tutorials like this on Minecraft or on YouTube in general right now, which is, it's kind of disheartening, because a lot of people, they think that there's other people out there that they give their information away, that maybe they're losing something and showing and, you know, building competition. But I don't look at it that way. I look at it that if I can show you how to build your ships maybe a little bit better, or just your builds in general, and or just give you some type of inspiration, I've done a lot of what I set out to do with this channel, you know, which I think is pretty cool, because, you know, I truly enjoy building on here, and doing the tutorials has actually turned out to be a blast. You know, it's can be time consuming sometimes, don't get me wrong, but I've come to really enjoy doing this on my YouTube channel. So I really don't care as far as the number of subscribers that I have or the views. I really just do this because I enjoy doing it, and the people that I've been able to connect with are pretty cool. So thank you very much for that. But, you know, that being said, as we continue to grow, I still want to have milestones, which is why we have the Enterprise A on the horizon. You know, once we hit 1,000, then you can expect to see that tutorial happening, and I'm really looking forward to that. And you'll be seeing more stuff like that going forward. I think it's, you know, important to have milestones on the channel as I continue to grow, because it's kind of crazy. I've only been doing this YouTube channel consistently now for just over a couple of months, over a year. I think it was June of last year that I really started doing this consistently. Before that, I had videos dropping sporadically on a non-consistent basis, and once I started off with the Disco Era Enterprise, it's been nothing but consistent episodes since, and I've gone from 170 subscribers to 615 subscribers in just over a year, which is pretty good. I've got no complaints with it. But again, you know, it's not necessarily about how many subscribers I have. It's just the fact that I'm able to show off what I can do, and show people how they can possibly do things maybe differently, not necessarily better, because there's 1,000 ways to do this, but just my way of doing it. And even if it's not giving you a set idea on what to do, maybe giving you different ideas and inspiration on things that maybe you wouldn't have thought of, you know? Because that's something I'm really going to try to make a point going forward, especially with my starship builds on Minecraft, that it's going to get a little repetitive. You know what I mean? You know, it's going to reach a point where it's like, okay, we've got another episode coming up where we're doing a bridge, or we got another episode coming up where we're doing a shuttle bay, or a transporter room, and how do we eliminate the mundaneness and the repetitiveness? And that all ties into finding your identity of your starship and what, you know, that ship was designed for. And in this case, the Galaxy class, you know, had 1,000 families living on board. So you start to think outside the box and think, what can I add to this build that's gonna accentuate that idea and bring that idea out a little bit more. And the stuff that we're adding in this episode, it's not even fan made. This is stuff that they conceptualize, whether it's for whether it was in Star Trek The Next Generation, or the Ships of the Line calendar, or Star Trek Online. Regardless, it was all, whether it was finally shown or not, it is still considered canon because they have blueprints for it. But then your imagination can start running wild, where you think, okay, well, if there's no specific screenshots of it, what would that look like? Or if what other areas that you could add in that they didn't show, like, you know, in this case were some of the classrooms on the Enterprise D, or clubs. I find it hard to believe that the Enterprise D wouldn't at least have clubs for well, I don't know if it necessarily would have like singles clubs, because that's what I was going to say, because I think the Enterprise D mostly had families and not single people. But that's stuff to regardless think about, you know. And that's kind of where I'm getting at, the point where I'm at now, where I'm trying to think of some of the different areas that I can fill in on the Enterprise D to where it stands out from my other builds. One of the things I have talked about that I haven't built it yet, because I'm still trying to decide exactly how I'm going to do it, but when we come in, we start working on some of the holodecks. One of them is going to be an episode, or a holodeck for Big Goodbye from the Dixon Hill episodes from the Next Generation. I think that would be really cool. You know, something that I think that completely 110% ties into like the DNA of like the Next Generation, because the Dixon Hill episodes were such a vital part of that show, so much so that it was in Star Trek First Contact. I thought that was pretty cool. But I do want to briefly get back in a little bit what we got going on here. You can see that between our cut line here, the half slabs, we're filling in the roof here with blue. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm trying to emulate a blue sky. I got this idea, believe it or not, from the Alien movies. It was Aliens 2, where they had the Colonial Marines in the beginning of the movie, where they find Ripley and they defrost her, and she's on one of the space stations. And one of the next scenes, she's sitting in a park, and that kind of resonated with me a little bit. I was like, you know, they have her here to kind of de-stress, you know, and yeah, you have, you know, your holodecks, but I think that even in the future, in Star Trek The Next Generation, they have arbitoriums. So you can make the argument that even though you have a holodeck, there are people that still prefer the real thing. So you can make the argument then, well, there's going to be sections of the ship that you want it to feel like maybe you're back on Earth, because it is going to, you know, probably feel very claustrophobic being on a starship all the time, you know. So you want to have those areas that it kind of feels a little bit more like Earth in that sense. And even though that's not from that Star Trek itself, that idea it's still present in Star Trek because they have those arbitoriums. But this is, again, these are things that I like to think about when I'm working on my ships, because these kind of things, they help me think outside the box and how I can further differentiate my ships going build to build, because again, you know, this is something that I'm 100% going to be doing going forward. Voyager will be pretty cool because I've really, you know, I've seen all the episodes of Star Trek Voyager, but I really haven't done all the research on that ship yet to see, you know, what all that ship was really built to do. If it was just like a science vessel for exploratory missions, and what exactly the ship itself could do, you know. The Cerritos, even, that's a ship that I'm waiting for more episodes of Star Trek Lower Decks to come out, so maybe I can further flesh out that ship. But that's going to be another one, you know, that's something that when I built it, I wasn't necessarily thinking fully like I'm thinking now as far as to build my ships to give them more of an identity. Because really, when I started getting into the Enterprise D, that's when I really started thinking about that. I was like, wow, you know, I'm going to get to a point where, you know, these ships, it's going to get to where it's like, okay, I've done this 50 times now. But I think that'll be cool too, because it'll help freshen up the builds and also have some unique creativity. Which at the end of the day, you can do it, you know, because these ships, they're not real, they're made up. Have a little bit of fun with it, and just try to stay true to what you're doing. Stay true to what you're trying to build. And I think that when you do that, when you stay true to it, whether you're building something 100% to canon, or maybe you're getting inspiration from something else in Star Trek, or maybe something that's another science fiction show like Aliens, for example. I think as long as you're staying true within the spirit of the builds, you can't do it wrong. You really can't. And that's one of the things that really hit me at heart when I was working on this specific section of the ship, because I was just like, man, you know, this is something that would be on the Enterprise D. This many people on board, 110%. And you'll, as we further develop out this room, you'll see more of what I mean, because we're going to start adding in some more green areas. And what I mean by green is some, not necessarily trees, but bushes and things like that. And that's going to be built within the walls of the ship, intentionally to make it feel a little bit more homey like Earth. And then in the ceilings here in certain sections, it kind of looks like it's the sky. This is again, to help emulate the idea that you're trying to remind your crew that they're maybe back on Earth. That's a cool idea, I think, in my book. I definitely dig it. I don't know if I'd do something like this exactly the same again on another ship. I think, now that I've done it on the Enterprise D, this might be like a one and done type deal, because I don't think there's any other ships in Starfleet that are exactly like the Enterprise D. I think it's kind of a unique build to its era. But that'll be one of the cool things going forward now. Thinking like that will help us to flesh out the ships in new and different ways. I think that's going to be really cool. This room is slowly but surely coming together. We've got our roof in place now. You can see it's the blue. It's not going across all the roof. It's really only certain parts of it. But it's going to give us that little, just extra nudge of detailing. That's going to help bring it out just a little bit more. We haven't even built out our areas here for the mall yet, which we'll be getting into as we go forward. But I think that's going to wrap us up today. We've gotten a decent amount of work done on the build so far. But I just want to thank everybody again for tuning in today's episode. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, or just want to stop by and say, hey, be sure to drop a comment below. Again, don't forget to join my Discord channel, where I'll have a link directly below in the description section of today's episode. And of course, don't forget my YouTube schedule has changed. If you want to catch my new videos, be sure to tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up today. I just want to thank everybody again, and I hope everybody has a happy and safe week. And I'll catch you on the next episode. And of course, what did you build in Minecraft today? Let me know in the comments section, or drop a comment in the Discord.